We're back in the arcade, but today it's not for an episode of the Arcade Chronicles. Today I am doing a response video to edt1138's Top 3 Tuesday question of show the top 3 most obscure items in your collection. I was really excited. I've been really enjoying seeing the responses that this question's gotten so far. As a collector, I actually have quite a few obscurities, so I was excited to kind of narrow it down to my top 3 obscurities. The first one I'm going to be showing you directly, and then the second two where I'm going to pick up the camera and I'm going to walk you over to them. I think that they warrant full videos, so at some point I want to do full videos about each one. So today I'm just going to show them to you, just kind of how they're sitting right now. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to pull one out of the closet. I think I may just go in the closet and show you the box. But at some point, if you stay tuned to my channel, I will be doing full videos showing more detail about these things. All right, so the first item is actually this. It's a Nelsonic Pac-Man watch. And this isn't super obscure. I think I knew a couple of other kids that had these when I was little, but I don't think that too many of them have lasted this long. This was probably purchased, this is my original one, and this was probably purchased for me, I would say about 1981 or 82. And it still works. It doesn't have a battery in it right now. It's not on right now. Because I don't leave a battery in it because obviously it doesn't get used most of the time, and I don't want a battery to just stay in there and leak or anything like that. So I leave the battery out of it, but if I do put a battery in it, it will start up, or at least it always has started up before. And it plays a pretty good game of Pac-Man, actually. There's another version out there. This is it seems to be the more rare variant. There's another version out there that has like a little mini joystick on it. But that one actually plays a different game of Pac-Man. This one uses 4 directional buttons to control it. And I have to say, it plays a pretty darn good game of Pac-Man. I mean, it's not exactly like the arcade, but the difficulty ramped up really nicely. It started out pretty easily, and once you got the hang of it, you could whip through the first few boards pretty easily. But then the ghost would start moving really fast, and you really had to be on your toes to make it through. It was a good game, really quality game actually for the time. So that's number 3. We're going to go ahead and pick up the camera now, and we're going to move over and look at number 2 and number 1. They're going to be shown in, I guess, order of obscurity. So number 2 will be my next most obscure item. For number 2 here, we're actually going to go into my closet, and this closet is kind of a dungeon of obscurity. We've got all kinds of stuff in here. There's a Apple II GS set up over there in those blue bins. We got a CDI, we got a Laserdisc player, a web TV in the box there. We got my Commodore 64 set up. We got some beta VCRs over there. We got all kinds of crazy stuff in here. But what we're focusing on is actually this box right here. That is a Panasonic FZ35S. Now, what does that mean? Why is that obscure? Those of you that are gaming historians, and by the way, I'll post a picture of what it looks like so you can see it here when I put this video up. So the FZ35S, most people that follow the lesser known systems will remember the 3DO, and they worked on a sequel to the 3DO called the 3DO M2, and most people know that the M2 was canceled before it came out, but what most people don't realize was that the technology was not scrapped. It was sold into other purposes. So the M2 technology was basically finished, but they couldn't, get the buy-in for the game developers and things like that. I just think that they decided it wasn't worth it to make a video game system out of it. But they used the technology for kiosks and things like that. So the FZ35S contains the 3DO M2 hardware. And over the last few years, there have been discoveries of games in development that have been leaked on the internet, and they actually do work on this unit. It was an exciting day when that came out, and I actually got to use this. This has been opened. It came from, I got a tip about a company that was closing these out probably about 10 years ago, throwing them up on eBay or something like that, or maybe on their own website, for approximately, $20, I think it was, shipped. I don't know how they got them, but they were all brand new. And I knew it had M2 hardware in it, and so I decided to just go ahead and buy one, even though it didn't do anything. Once I got it, I noticed that it did have a controller port on the back that a 3DO controller fit into. And then with the leak of the racing game, I forget the name of the racing game now, but it was leaked on the internet, and I was able to burn a disc of it and put it in this system, and it does actually play the game, and it's quite cool. So yes, very few people know about this. The value on it, they very rarely pop up on eBay. When they pop up on eBay, sometimes you'll see one that slips under the radar and sells maybe for only a couple $100. Other times it'll get a lot of interest, and I've seen them push up, I want to say, into the $500 to $700 range, maybe even more, for some of these that are practically new in the box like this. So that's number two. Number one next. Number one is located here in my garage. This is a Life Cycle 3500, which was a exercise bike that was made in the early 90s that connects to a Super Nintendo. You can see it's got a controller here on it. And this is an extremely rare item. They brought out two different variations of these exercise bikes. One that was meant for the home use, which is what this one is, and then another one that was made for health clubs, but they were both very expensive, and so therefore very few of them actually were ever purchased. This model was picked up at my local Goodwill. My favorite hobby in my spare time is just to read about obscure random hardware. It used to be. Now I watch more YouTube videos, but back then I used to like reading about obscure hardware in places like Digital Press. And I was actually aware of the fact that there was an exercise bike for the Super Nintendo. So when I walked into my local Goodwill and came upon these items sitting around the store, they had taken the pieces and just put them in the departments that they thought made sense. So one I found was this cable here, and I recognized the Super Nintendo port on that, so I knew that was something, so I grabbed that. Then I walked around some more, and I noticed, hold on, sorry about that. Then I noticed this, and I saw that, Exertainment, and I knew that was something. I had heard of it. That was sitting in another part of Goodwill. And finally I realized, and then I found the controllers here sitting over on a different shelf with a price tag on those. So I had gathered up all these pieces, walked over to the glass case. There was the game sitting there, the Exertainment Mountain Bike Rally Super Nintendo game. And then I thought the bike has to be here somewhere. And I started scanning around the store, and I saw it sitting there, and there was a man sitting on it who was testing it out, and he looked like he was seriously considering buying it. And I thought, oh man, what am I gonna do now? This guy's gonna, and it had a price tag of $9.99 on it. And I thought, oh man, I got all these pieces here, but I can't leave without the bike. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just going to watch to see his reaction. I didn't want to show any interest in it because I didn't want to make him seem more interested. I watched him test it for a minute, and then he got off of it. And as soon as he got off of it and walked away, I walked right over to it, grabbed the ticket off of it, and then kind of started dragging it towards the front desk just to make sure they knew that I wanted it. So yeah, I picked up all this stuff here. The bike, the game, the connector, the cables, the controllers, all together for about maybe $20. The value on these is, again, very unknown because very few of these ever come up for sale. I've seen reputable websites that have these in stock that have been asking anywhere from $700 to $1,000 for them. I don't know if they sell at that price or not. To be honest, I probably will sell this at some point. It works perfectly, and again, that's what I plan to do, a full video on this and really show it in action, because it's a really interesting unit, and it's something that, you know, there's very little information out there about it, so I want to kind of do a full review on it. But for this video, for edt1138's top 3 obscure items, I felt it was a perfect chance to get it on video and just kind of show it a little bit. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.